What's up, everybody? This is Roots to Grooves.
Hello.
Jay Purcell.
Jesse Quigley.
What's up, man? How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here talking about Roots and Grooves. We're talking about the band. Give it away.
Beach Fossil.
Beach Fossils.
That's how you say it. Fossils. How I say fossils?
Fossils.
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 You say fossils. You pronounce the I.
Fossil.
Fossils.
Beach fossils.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think you pronounce it beach fossils.
There you go.
I'm gonna land on that one.
Yeah.
So cool, kind of indie rock band.
Yeah.
I guess based out of New York. But
Yeah.
I guess the main songwriter was from
North Carolina.
I was gonna say New Hampshire, one of those.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, super cool artist. They got like 3, 4, or 5 albums out.
Yeah.
Maybe including an EP in there.
Yeah.
Known for kind of lo-fi bedroom indie pop rock. Bedroom breezy vocals.
Mm-hmm.
So this band, we talked about Real Estate a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And this band I discovered about the same time as Real Estate.
Okay.
And in fact, I was getting the two artists mixed up on some of the songs because they kind of got a similar vibe.
Similar sound a little bit. Yeah. The jangly guitars.
Yeah, the breezy vocals, jangly guitars.
Yeah.
So definitely they're in that kind of wheelhouse of the earlier 2010s, like indie rock kind of resurgence, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So they're very much in there, and they were out of New York. Other big bands coming out of there like Yeah Yeahs or The Strokes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Yeah Yeahs are from New York.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of another band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're good, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like them.
Totally. No, like actually.
Just what was it? Is it a 2-piece or 3-piece? They just have guitar and drums and a singer, I think.
I don't even know.
Yeah, no bass, but they fill out the sound. Pretty
One yeah for each band member.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we just settled it.
Yeah.
So Beach Fossils we're talking about. We're excited to be here talking about Beach Fossils on Roots to Grooves. Guitar-driven dream pop, underground indie rock pop. Echoey, kind of good, fun vibes. I guess this guy. Let me say his name.
Yeah.
For the heck of it, it's basically one guy. As far as everything's been happening, and he's had other bandmates, but they've been in and out, and it's really complicated in and outs. And he's the main guy for sure, writing most of the songs for at least the first albums. He wrote like most of the music and recorded it himself. Yeah, and kind of did most of the production and everything. But I'm talking about I don't even have it. Dustin Payseur is how I would pronounce it.
Yeah, I think so.
Payseur?
I wasn't sure. I didn't hear it pronounced.
Yeah, I didn't hear anybody. Nobody was saying his last name.
Yeah.
So we're here to say it. I think it's Payseur. That sounds cool to me.
Yeah, it looks kind of French.
It does. Yeah, that's why I'm like Payseur,
like
connoisseur or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was born in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Grew up around music and kind of was always into music, as far as I know. Do you have any background about his childhood?
Not really musically. I know that he went to like a Catholic elementary school, he said, at some point, and he had to go to church a lot. I think the reason he talked about that is because he kind of, he made some mention about the sound kind of thing in the church kind of thing. I guess he probably had to sing hymns or something like that.
You're forced into it.
Yeah, forced into it. Used to do that back in the day.
Yeah. I think later on I remember him saying he was fond of the incense.
Okay, yeah.
But like I was raised Catholic too, so it is pretty cool. And they had like a big chain and a little chamber where they're burning incense, and they
kind of swing it through the.
Yeah, it's just like wafting, and it's everywhere, and it's thick, and it smells really good.
What does it smell like? Like
frankincense and myrrh.
Okay,
I think like those are pretty popular ones.
It's one of his favorite scents because they actually apparently the band members are really into scented candles.
Yeah, I saw that. Just kind of a side story. Then they all have something to say about like their favorite scents.
And Dustin's was frankincense and myrrh.
Okay.
And then also kind of woodsy sort of smells.
Yeah, he I think he mentioned kind of that musky.
Yeah.
I don't know, wet wood.
Yeah.
Damp rainforest.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Which I'll just say right now is a very obscure thing for a band to talk about in an interview. But if you think about it, smell is one of the senses, and you can probably get inspired or put in a certain mood through the smells of things, kind of thing. Like
100%.
Creates another sort of layer of ambience or whatever in studios and rehearsal rooms and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. When smells are one of those things similar to music, and it kind of takes you right back to a specific moment in time.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you are kind of already forgot, it'll kind of bring it right back to the forefront of your mind, and you're there again for a second.
Well, actually, like I'll just mention it now as well. Like one of the band members, I can't remember his name, but he mentioned the smell of like when he was a kid at some restaurant eating a burger, and then the smell of like the chlorine kind of disinfectant smell. You said almost like a swimming pool. And the smell of the burger, like he likes that combination.
That's
like,
disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Why would
I guess it reminds him of his childhood in some way.
I guess that, and that's why it's important, because it reminds you of the childhood or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining this kid like in a sticky, dirty McDonald's playhouse, like eating a burger, and there's like a employee mopping, and he's like, "This is nice.
Yeah,
I like this aroma with my burger."
Yeah. But,
I don't know.
But yeah, I guess the only other stuff I know about Dustin is he grew up in North Carolina, and he said he kind of hated it. Like it wasn't like really stuff going on there. And it was also interesting. Apparently, his parents kind of encouraged him to get out of there, like and go do something else, like move away.
Right.
In fact, they said they'd be kind of disappointed or mad at him if he didn't do that kind of thing. So.
Well, you don't want to be the kid stuck in your mom's basement doing nothing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
If you're doing something, that's great. Like living with your parents is a great way to save money and stuff. So I think it's a smart move. Yeah. But don't be a bum.
Yeah.
At the same time, you can still be productive.
And so I think like he made the decision to go. Well, he was like studying, I think, in North Carolina a little bit. I think he was like at a community college or something like that, but didn't really finish.
Right.
But then he like went to New York with the idea of being there for at least 5 years to pursue his music.
Yeah, I think he always wanted to go to New York. That was kind of one of his goals, which he ended up doing, which is cool. Yeah. I think just one step back, I think when he was in that Catholic high school, I'm not sure how this works out, but I think I saw somewhere where he went to like 4 different high schools.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And was moving around. I don't know if they were all Catholic or non-religious or what. Yeah. But I just saw that little fact in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. So, and then, like you said, went to community college for a brief stint in North Carolina, and then and dropped out is what happened?
I think so, yeah.
That's what I got too, but I didn't see anything that specifically said that.
Yeah, I don't really know about that, but he mentioned later, because about like, I think his first 7 months of living in New York, he said he was like doing these retail jobs and he was broke, and he really seriously considered moving back to North Carolina after the first 7 months. And he said his thought then was probably that he would go back and finish schooling and then graduate and then eventually move back to New York and get a better job or something. But then he said, that probably would have been a disaster anyway or something, is the way he said about that. So so he's stuck in there, you know.
I think in New York he was working at Urban Outfitters.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Just a nice urban location for an Urban Outfitters.
There you go.
That's the cool spot in New York, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so as far as his musical background, I think he was into the Misfits. I think he was into Meat Puppets.
I don't know Meat Puppets.
Yeah, I've heard the name, but I don't know exactly what's up with them. Black Flag, have you heard?
Oh, yeah. With Henry Rollins.
Yeah. That guy's awesome, and I think he used to be crazy. I don't know if he still is, but he's cool.
Yeah, he had his show on... Maybe it was HBO years ago, but it was like a regular talk show type thing. It was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was always really kind of interesting. It wasn't like in front of an audience. It was kind of like looked like a documentary-esque type thing. And they'd always have interesting people on, kind of like Joe Rogan, sort of. He was like the old school Joe Rogan.
He was doing it before Joe ever got around.
And then he's traveled a lot. And, he does stand-up comedy, although it's not really stand-up comedy. He's kind of just talking. Yeah,
that kind of like introspective, here's my take on it kind of comedy, which is good.
But he was like, I think back in the day, like he said, when he was touring, he only had like a t-shirt and a pair of jeans, and that's all he had on tour, and he used to take them both off to go on stage because he knew he would sweat really badly on stage, and he didn't want to like sweat through his clothing.
A great excuse to take your clothes off, I guess.
Yeah, punk.
Yeah, that's a punk.
Yeah.
He's a punk, for sure. And then besides, that's kind of his alternative or heavier, darker rock influences. Then he was also into jazz. He was into classical music. I saw that his grandfather played percussion in Cuba.
Oh wow!
So he did have a little bit of background, and I think his dad was somehow into music as well. I didn't see too much about it, but I think he did give Dustin his first 4-track.
Okay, another 4-track.
Another 4-track story here.
Welcome to the 4-track club.
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna have to start. We have to write a list somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think I saw that his dad also had an 8-track, but he didn't want to give him the 8-track, so he gave him the 4-track.
Too fancy. Yeah.
I guess is it? Yeah, it's almost the exact same thing though, with double the amount of tracks you can have going at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
So it's just a nicer piece of equipment.
Yeah, I know like different models might have had better sound quality, but yeah, usually it's like same sound quality, just more channels to mess with kind of thing. Like, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, that's basically all I got on his background.
Yeah.
And then we kind of covered it. Went to Catholic high school and into community college in North Carolina. And I think he started playing in bands like in high school and then in college too. I think he was involved with quite a few bands.
What was his main instrument? Is it bass or guitar?
I thought it was guitar.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Yeah. No, I think later on, he was talking about his writing process, that he starts on bass a lot of times.
Okay, cool.
Like coming up with like a riff kind of thing.
Right.
And then building from that, because he feels it's like a good basis of like a track. Or the bass, yeah.
Nice. Double entendre.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But yeah, totally. I like starting a song with a bass.
Yeah.
Get a nice groove going, get a nice feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, another note. He did start playing guitar when he was 9.
9. Okay.
So that brings that little story to together. And then, like I said, his dad gave him a 4-track, and I think he was off from there, and he started playing in different bands, in and out, trying different things, kind of more punky bands. I think he kind of likes darker music a little bit.
He mentioned a lot. He listened to a lot of new metal kind of thing. Mentions Korn a lot. Life is Peachy.
Okay. Was never into Korn, not yet, at least.
Yeah, I was. It's cool because he mentioned like some albums that people should listen to, and the other one was Deftones' Around the Fur, which is another great album. So I feel like I kind of played some of that stuff on our as yet unreleased Inspirations episode. Some of the new metal kind of era.
That one hasn't come out yet. I'm excited for that episode.
Yeah. So it's interesting. He's like into a lot of kind of rock, punk, heavy stuff, but then has a side of him that's definitely into like jazzy, funky things.
Yeah, so more subtleties and more kind of finesse and pretty side. So I like how he likes the kind of darker vibes, but pretty on top.
Yeah.
A little bit like a little pretty icing on top of your dark cake. Something like that. So this kind of his story, he's getting into music more and more. Yeah. And then he starts this project all by himself, which he ended up calling Beach Fossils.
Yeah.
And he basically wrote the whole album by himself.
Yeah.
I think he recorded it. I think he was still back at his parents' house at this time. Or was he in New York?
I think he was in New York, yeah. I think he said it was around 2008 he got the idea for Beach Fossils as a project kind of thing. And then, 2010 is when the first album came out, which actually came out on a record label. So somewhere along the line in those 2 years of writing, he got on, I think it's called Captured Tracks or something like that. Yeah, was the name of the label.
Yeah, and there's some other, like Mac DeMarco's on that label.
Yeah.
Wild Nothing. I think these kind of like they're indie pop rock, that same kind of vibe ish. Right. I haven't discovered Wild Nothing or a band called Dive either.
Yeah.
But I think Dive is pretty cool. I think Wild Nothing also has cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then Mac DeMarco's been popping off for years at this point.
Yeah, I haven't really listened to much of his music, but
it comes up though, and everything I've heard, it sounds really cool. Yeah. But I haven't dove.
What sort of stuff is he? Kind of rock, or is it more like?
It's
funky?
Like it's like groovy, chill.
Yeah.
Like almost down tempo indie rock.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to leave that there.
Okay. Yeah.
If I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong because I have not listened to too much Mac DeMarco.
Is it like Beck in any way, or not really? Like,
I think some of it.
Some of it. Yeah. Okay.
But more like bedroom Beck.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Bedroom Beck.
I'm coming on the record here on the camera saying I don't know. I'm just trying to give us an idea here.
But I think, I don't know if this is how they got signed them, because Dustin said that he basically dropped a Twitter message to Mac DeMarco at some point in time kind of thing. Because he said he was really into his stuff and he saw his appearance on Hot Wings that.
Oh,
show.
the Hot Ones.
Hot Ones.
Yeah.
And apparently, like Mac DeMarco responded and sent him his phone number, and then they connected, and he was like, "Yeah, anytime you come out to LA, just we'll kick it," kind of thing. And they did it. He did end up going out there. He said they used to get wasted every day and like jam and make music and
just having a great time.
Yeah.
Mac DeMarco seems like a fun guy.
Yeah. Dustin said like he got the vibe that this is the type of guy that like I think I could hang with or whatever.
Yeah.
He was right. They got along pretty well, and yeah, I think they might have. I don't know if they've released any collaborations or anything like that, but they definitely made music together. So,
yeah, or at least being influenced by each other. I think they both recognized their respective talents and what they're able to come up with. So there's some mutual musical respect there. I think that's cool, and that's a cool way to make friends.
Twitter messages.
Twitter, yeah. Yeah, there was another story. What happened on Twitter? Somebody else got called out. I think it was on the Sean Lee episode or the Adrian Young episode. I think it was Adrian Young, and somebody hit him up on Twitter and connected him with somebody else.
Yeah, it was like someone from the Delphonics, I think.
Yeah, like and they're just like, here's his contact.
Yeah, it's like,
there you go.
Damn.
Just like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I think let's play a track from that first record.
Yeah.
I think we're about there. This is he wrote it all himself.
The self-titled Beach Fossils album.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure because I mean, like for example, on Wikipedia it said that Clash was the first one in 2010, but then I saw like on Spotify, it says that where is it? I don't know. There was another one that was first.
So
Beach Fossils 2010, self-titled.
Yeah, and then I think 2011 was an EP, What a Pleasure. And then Clash the Truth came out in 2013.
Okay. But this first one we're talking about is Beach Fossils self-titled 2010, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's play a track off that and let's feel out this guy's vibe.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything prepared from this.
Oh, we didn't put one of we didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put me on the spot, man. Have you listened to this album?
I didn't realize we did not prepare. I did, and it's good. It's like, lo-fi, pop rock, kind of, chill, like kind of, kind of sad.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hazy, like early Strokes kind of vibe, like kind of lo-fi rock. And it's really good. It's really chill. I like those first 3 albums are really good.
Yeah.
I'll just say right now, like Somersault's my favorite one, and I think they're still hitting their stride and they got a long way to go, which is why I'm interested in these guys, why we brought them here today. But those first like 3 albums, including that EP, are just kind of really good all the way through.
Yeah.
Not a bunch of super standout tracks for me.
No.
But like as a whole piece of music, it's really vibey and really cool, really chill.
Yeah.
Not begging for your attention or anything.
No, it's pretty consistent all the way through.
So let's just get a little surprise because we don't know. We're going to guess.
I'm going to play Window View.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, pretty drifty, floaty track there.
Yeah, I agree.
From the first album, self-titled Beach Fossils, that was called Window View.
So pretty good, and the rest of the album is like that, even a little bit more upbeat than that. That was, even maybe an especially chill song, but the whole thing's basically chill like that.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not looking for that, Yeah. But if you're here listening and kind of into this at all, then you will probably like this band because it's pretty good.
Yeah. I noticed I listened to some of those tracks on this album, and he has a lot of tambourine in there, like hitting at the same time as the snare drum or something.
Right.
That. It's like one of the only tracks that doesn't have that tambourine sound in there, is what I noticed. Just something peculiar I noticed.
But, and I think that's kind of one of the things that makes this music good, because he kind of holds to a little bit of a standard with what he's using. Yeah. It's pretty much all bass, drums, and guitar and vocals, and then like a couple bits of percussion. To round it out and help with the texture a little bit. But it's pretty good. I got a couple notes on here because apparently this was the quickest he's ever written an album, and this was by himself. So he was listening, or he was working in New York, and he said he was like kind of depressed and kind of sad, and like music was his only friend. So he got really into it and just kind of dove into making this album.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what allowed him to do it. He said it was kind of a form of escapism.
That's cool.
So yeah, he was trying to stay out of his own head.
Yeah,
and music was like the way to go, and it allowed him to create this whole album basically all by himself.
Yeah.
And then a couple cool facts. He was using Logic. I've been using Logic, and it's pretty cool. I like it. Quote: he was using a shitty '60s no-name Japanese guitar. So.
A lot of the starter guitars
are they
shitty Japanese or Chinese ones, I think.
I did have I still do. It's at my friend's house, but my bass guitar it's not Japanese. Yeah. It's a Hurricane from South Korea, I think.
Interesting.
That's my only connection to Asian guitars, I guess. I hope South Korea's they're Asian, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he used that guitar. At this point, I guess he didn't even own a bass. So all the bass that you hear in that is a guitar.
Oh, wow.
Like,
really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just EQ'd down or whatever. I don't know the specifics, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to trust him.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust Dustin Payseur.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so this was the thing that blew my mind. He said he sung into the MacBook microphone.
Really?
For a lot of the vocals.
Wow.
I think if not most or all of the vocals, he was using his MacBook.
Yeah. That's
to
crazy.
record vocals. I just think that's super cool.
Yeah.
Because I always come across people and you're like, I got to get the best mic if I'm going to start anything. And here's a guy just working at Urban Outfitters with a cheap Japanese guitar, no bass, but finding a way to record and do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm just super about that.
I think he, sort of put a lot of reverb on his vocals as well, right? So he might have kind of like masked the quality somehow with that
100%
aesthetic. Yeah,
and I think it works, and it just goes to show that if you're going for a certain style, you don't have to. Not every single person recording every style of music has to go for the clean, pristine pop vocals with the nicest equipment in the world.
Yeah.
There's just other ways to go, and some people aren't even looking for that.
That's something I noticed actually throughout all their albums, is that they didn't really focus. They don't really focus so much on the sound recording quality. They're focused more on the songs themselves.
Yeah.
I think probably your favorite album, Somersault, was probably a little bit of a departure from that, where they spent a bit more time on the mix and how they were recording things. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Totally.
But,
No, I agree though.
Yeah.
Which is another kind of reason why I like that album.
Yeah.
But I also like this kind of fuzzy, hazy, drifty kind of music too.
Yeah.
Just simple melodic guitars, nice breezy melody on the vocals, reverby, kind of echoey, a little bit of delay or something on there.
Reminds me a little bit of Peter, Bjorn and John. Have you heard them?
No.
Yeah, they're kind of, I think they're from Sweden or somewhere like that.
Okay.
They kind of came out in, I think they had their first album I heard about was like in 2006 or 7, something like that. I had one really catchy track. You've probably heard it. They play it on like in restaurants and cafes all the time.
Okay.
But
I go to cafes and restaurants.
Yeah,
I go.
You do, now? Do you do it now?
So not in quarantine. Not right now, especially without a mask.
But yes, by that band, some of their slower stuff sounds like that last track I played. Kind of very.
I'll have to check them out.
Dreamy. Yeah.
Yeah, dreamy.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are it's like indie rock, bass, drums, guitar, vocals, but it's kind of poppy.
Yeah.
In that kind of indie way.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's their self-titled 2010.
Yeah.
This guy just kind of wrote it all by himself in New York, and I think he did really well.
Yeah.
And that set him on a path to like touring and getting other bandmates involved to help him realize that on stage.
Yeah.
And I guess I think he went on tour after this. I think he started like playing.
Yeah.
And again, he kind of had this. He'd been in and out of other bands, so he had connections with other musical artists and people in the industry in general, which kind of just helped push him towards that.
Yeah.
And I think that's basically what was going on. I don't have any other deeper information than that.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. In preparation for this show, I accidentally listened to "What a Pleasure" first, which I thought was their first album. I thought I was clicking on their first album or something, so I listened to all of that all the way through. Apparently, it's only an EP, but it's 8 songs. And,
I thought it was a full album.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It almost basically is.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's like 23 minutes, but there's 8 songs, and it's kind of interesting on this one because they, instead of live drums, I feel like there's a lot of more kind of programmed drums, but it's not like it's programmed to sound like normal drums, but they haven't gone crazy on it. They've sort of left it sounding a little bit synthetic,
right?
So it kind of has that sort of Postal Service kind of vibe. I thought about it a little bit.
Yeah, I think if you do that in a nice way, it has a really cool aesthetic with a little bit of electronic or fake drum sound.
Yeah.
Or whatever processed drums, whatever you want to call it.
It's very like sort of straight, drum beats kind of like thing. And there was like one track on there I heard called "Out in the Way," I think, and it reminded me of New Order. For some reason.
Yeah. Well, I think another one of the things was Joy Division was another one of their influences.
Right.
And New Order's kind of right in that that sonic space as well.
Yeah.
Same time period-ish, I think, as well.
Well, 3 of the same members from Joy Division in New Order. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
After the main guy... Did the main guy pass away? I think he did.
I don't know a lot of history about either of those bands.
I know there was a movie made about the guy from Joy Division.
Really?
I haven't seen it, but it's like a movie, an actor playing him and stuff.
Okay. Put it on the list for movie night.
There you go. Yeah.
Down.
Absolutely.
I'm down. That sounds cool though.
Yeah.
So yeah, What a Pleasure. This was 2011, yeah?
Yeah.
This is basically, it's an EP.
Yeah.
I think he basically did most of this again by himself.
Yeah.
It's a little less lo-fi.
Yeah.
It's as far as the songs go, I think they're mostly about love, and I think this was talking about his girlfriend who he ended up marrying.
Okay. Yeah.
Just kind of vague info here, but I think that's what it was about.
Yeah.
The vocals are a little clearer.
Yeah.
And there was a collaboration with Wild Nothing, which is another artist on that label.
Yeah. Have you come across them before or heard anything?
I've heard the name, but I haven't. They've kind of been in the back of my mind, but I haven't gone in deep and see what they're about and how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So they're on the list though. I have a lot of lists, Jay.
Yeah.
For movie lists,
to listen to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do lists. I guess you'd say that's already a thing.
Yeah.
So I guess so. They were going on tour for What a Pleasure, and I'm sure they were playing songs off that first record too. And I guess things were getting tense with the band. At some point, they got kicked out of a Boston club for fighting
with each other.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I think there was one of the members, and I don't have the specific guy, but he seemed like kind of a douche, I guess, and he was kind of not vibing with each other, with the rest of the band, and they would just have stupid little fights or whatever, but they would get to an intense point where they would fight each other. Like, I think, like fist fights.
Wow.
And I don't know how bad that was or how many punches landed or anything.
Yeah.
There was no world star videos.
I think fist fights have ever happened in any bands I've been in, but definitely verbal arguments and people throwing each other out of the studio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just leave.
It gets intense.
Yeah.
Because especially you think about like these chill songs that these guys are writing. And it's like pretty chill and pretty, you know, like innocent.
Yeah.
And he's just describing his life and trying to figure himself out and stuff. And the band's like playing it. They're like, yeah, let's go on tour, play these songs.
Yeah.
And how intense that gets when tensions arise for different reasons.
Well, definitely on touring. I think that also like the way they first started touring is that they said, you know, they were just broke and they would be like, didn't really have any money for like food or anything. They're sleeping on floors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it's gotten better for them, but they were saying actually, like, someone asked them what their advice would be for new artists that are just getting started, kind of thing, and it's like, don't blow all your money on tour, like, you know, go and slum it on the road, kind of thing, because, you know, they found themselves actually looking back and reminiscing on, you know, oh, remember when we were like sleeping on the floor of this, like,
and those are like the good old days. Like, oh man.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It's a way to meet fans as well. I saw out here there was like some Spanish band from Spain that were on tour in America, and they played Seattle. 3-piece, really fucking loud, like punk music. They were really good. And at the end of the show, they were like, yeah, if anyone's like got anywhere place for us to crash tonight, kind of thing. Like, you know, I almost offered them my place, kind of thing, because, you know, I thought they were cool. But they, you know, they hooked up with some people and stuff like that. And, but that's kind of a cool thing as well. Like, you know, you have these experiences meeting new people and who become fans or friends or whatever during the thing. Yeah,
and it just goes to show, like, going through any type of adversity, hopefully you're learning from it, and it's, you know, even if it wasn't a good experience at that moment, you know, you learn from it and can grow from it,
hopefully
and it becomes, hopefully you do. And hopefully, you can take something away from it and make that thing into a valuable thing for you, even if it wasn't a good thing off the cuff. So, cool perspective. That's cool that they were looking back on those days.
Yeah. And I think, like, the one thing I've noticed a lot from a few of the artists we've covered, I'm sort of like wondering how some of these artists get so big, kind of thing. And a lot of them spend a lot of time touring on the road and playing all kinds of shows, sort of thing. But it seems to me like, it's that hard graft of just getting out there in the world and playing and does work, kind of thing. And it's like you have to put in that, do those sacrifices, sacrifice your everyday life, money and a lifestyle.
Yeah, I think even Dustin Payseur, or Payseur, however you want to pronounce it, mentioned that, like, sacrificing yourself for this time to allow you to go to the next level, to make these things happen the way you want them to happen, and it's worthwhile. And I think I saw one of the videos, one of the band members was like, you know, I wish I can go sleep on somebody's floor tonight. Like, that sounds kind of nice. Which is like a weird thing to say, but it's like, I think I've heard other artists talk about that, like going on tour and they kind of miss those days, miss those hard times. And when you're like, you're feeling like, you know, you're around people, but you're kind of feeling lonely. Even though your band's around you or the audience is around you, your fans are around you, you still feel kind of lonely.
Well, I guess it could become a little bit alienating. Like, if you're getting more success and you're on the road and you've gone from like just meeting random people and, you know, doing a show like the guys I saw and crashing at some random people's house and partying or whatever, to like being shuttled around in a bus or from hotel to hotel. Like, and, you know, like tonight we're playing Seattle, and then you get off and you get on the bus and you drive to Portland, and then you're going to do the same show again tomorrow night in Portland or whatever, kind of thing. It's like, there is some, you can be kind of in a bubble maybe and not like experience.
It's like you're there creating this experience for everybody, and everyone, the fans and the audience are going home. They're like, that was dope. I love those guys. But you're whisked away. Like, you don't get to bask in the glory of the city in general or of the people. And it's kind of, I mean, I must be weird. I've never had the opportunity to like go on tour like that. And I would love the opportunity at some point.
It's kind of weird one. Like, I want to do everything once, like with music. I don't know if I really want to go on like a long tour like that. Like, I would like to go on like a small tour, maybe like a month or something like that. But like, I don't know if I can imagine doing anything longer than that. That's kind of giving up your whole life and just doing that one thing, really. Like,
like Dustin said, sacrifice. So, but to each their own. And like other bands do go on smaller tours, and they kind of split it up because they have families and they have other aspects of their life besides music that they want to invest in.
Cool about the last band we talked about last week, the jazz guys,
Snarky Puppy.
Snarky Puppy, yeah. How they like change out the members.
Exactly.
Apart from the main guy, he has to do all.
He's always there. Yeah. Michael League,
yeah. But I was going to say, as we're talking about touring, I got reminded about another movie for movie night. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a really old Radiohead documentary from like the 90s. I think this was done maybe around OK Computer time or maybe before, kind of thing. It's really fascinating though, and also a bit depressing. Like, Tom York seems very crazy in this documentary, but anyway, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, if you know Radiohead, they have feelings.
Yeah.
Whoever's writing that music is feeling down sometimes, I think.
Exactly.
As maybe we all are, and that's okay to feel down,
Yeah.
It's also great if you can express that and that gets some of your energy out and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, great. What a pleasure.
Yeah.
Another solid album all the way through.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a little more clearer.
Yeah.
Like less lo-fi is what I mean. But it's more of the same, but I think it's better. And I think you could hear the progression and it's a little bit more of a robust album.
Yeah.
And then they kind of continue that energy and they go into their next album, Clash of the
Titans.
I was thinking Clash of the Titans, not on our movie night list.
No.
But Clash of the Truth. This came out February 18th, 2003. And then this one's a little more punk rock, a little post-punk.
I think...
and then still indie rock at heart.
Yeah, I think from throughout their touring, they had like a newer drummer on this album. They said was a little bit more faster and dynamic to allow them to do some faster tracks or something like that.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think I don't know the name. My bad, but he was a good drummer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess to backtrack a little bit, I think I saw something about them whilst they were on tour with the first couple of releases. They went through 12 drummers and like 4 guitarists or something like that. But they settled with this guy for this album, who also got on the album playing kind of thing.
Which is awesome. I mean, but what perseverance to go through so many artists or musicians in your band to not right, not gonna work. 10 times. That's a lot of rehearsals. They must have had at least one rehearsal with each one, or I'm guessing much more.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it's not gonna work though. That's a lot of stress and work.
Yeah.
For your mind.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Just in general.
Out of things.
Yeah, like just getting. I know it's always like I'm kind of introverted, so if there's a new person, it's like I got to refigure out.
It takes a while to get to
a level of comfort. Yeah, totally. Yeah. But awesome that they did find a good drummer, and he is good.
I think his name's Anton Hockheim.
And he's still with them today.
I think so. Yeah.
And he's been there for the last.
Yeah.
I mean, almost most of their half their career at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
This is essentially they have 4 albums, including that EP, which we're kind of counting as an album in this. At least I am right now.
Yeah.
But Clash, the Truth, punk rock, post rock, indie rock. The production's a little better. Yeah. The vocals are a little more audible. Nice poppy melodies, maybe a little poppier than before. I feel like it's more energetic. Good grooves, good momentum. The songs each kind of have a defining characteristic, which I find. I mean, I love. So they each feel like a different thing, but they're all cohesive. But each one's kind of got their interesting characteristic that makes them unique.
Yeah,
so that's cool. And then it just feels generally more fleshed out than the previous record. So again, more you can see how they're progressing with their musicality and their production and the vibe of what they're trying to create with Beach Fossils. So
should we play Crashed Out from this album?
Yeah, Crash from Clash, the Truth.
crashed out from
Clash the Truth.
Clash the Truth.
Came out February 18th, 2003. Ooh, I'm fumbling my words.
Yeah.
I love...
fact check myself as well. It was actually Tommy Gardner was the drummer that played on that.
Okay.
So, well, he's not with them right now.
But he's not with them anymore.
But he did that, yeah.
Was that before that?
Yeah, before Anton, who's with them now. Yeah.
Perfect, cool.
Yeah.
So there's some context is the word I'm looking for. Some
context, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I love that. I love punk inspired music. Like I love that punk bass, just that driving picked. It's like I love that. It's so fun to play.
Yeah.
Like I just want to jam right now and play that.
Yeah, I like that sort of driving.
Yeah, just super driving.
Music, yeah.
But then like the guitar's just doing like a nice, pretty kind of beachy melody.
And the vocals are just floating on
just
top.
drift. I mean, it's like a painting of a beach. Yeah. You know, you got the waves rolling in and crashing.
Yeah.
And they just crash in the name of the song or the name of the album.
Yeah.
But the drivingness is like, I don't know, the energy and the fun of being at the beach.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make any sense, but I just, get these flashes of ideas in my head. I got to say it.
That's cool. Yeah.
But
it gives you visuals.
But like, I mean, beach is in their name, beach fossils.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because
was not really. Would you say this is like surf?
Well, that's
a little bit.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, how do you define beach rock or surf rock? Because like, what is it? It's just like a vibe. It's like it's not like he's doing something on the guitar that's specifically beachy.
Yeah.
The driving bass isn't necessarily a beach thing. That's more of a punk thing. But stuff like The Clash, you wouldn't say they're a beach rock band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, where does beach and surf rock come in? Because I love surf and beach rock, and we talked about waves.
Yeah.
And we talked about Real Estate. Both of them are kind of beachy for me, at least.
Yeah.
And I'm always wondering if that just me or are other people thinking that too?
Yeah, probably. Like, it's funny. I didn't get any of those vibes at all, even though Beach Fossils is in the title. Beach. Yeah. But now I'm thinking about it. That last track we heard, I am getting those vibes. Like, I could feel like I could watch like surfing on the TV or something.
Yeah.
And they playing that song as the soundtrack with all the waves crashing and stuff like that.
It does sound like some 60s.
It's definitely like
early Beach Boys.
Yeah, like surf rock is a specific genre, and I think it's I don't know how to describe it, but like
that's what I'm saying. Like you know what it is, but how do you put it into words? I can't do it right here on the spot.
Yeah, we'd have to play someone and be like, yeah, okay,
that is that's not that is. No, it's not. I don't know, but interesting.
Yeah.
I like that stuff either way. Beach rock, surf rock.
Yeah, and this album, I think musically, even the band and themselves are really into it. Apparently, like they still to this day play a lot of those songs live at their live sets. Yeah, from this album. So
I don't have any like stats to back it up, but I think this did kind of take them to the next level for themselves, for their personal kind of creativity, getting their energy out and stuff. And then I think it resonated with their audience and grew their audience too.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of a step in the right direction for the band.
Yeah.
For their, whatever their legacy or their future, and it's a good album. I think it's out of all of them, they just keep getting better.
Yeah.
And that's what excites me about this band. That's why I wanted to bring him to the table today.
Yeah, they're not afraid to change things up, is what I've noticed. I think they've gone from like initially being like Dustin's solo thing to like him incorporating more of the live band members in the writing process and the recording process kind of thing.
I mean, that's a fantastic segue into Somersault.
Yeah, and like, and I think it's funny how his band came about as well. Yeah, because he's had like many changes whilst on tour, but like the people that are with him now are guys that were in other bands that like opened for Beach Fossils or whatever and stuff like that, or I think their current drummer, Anton, a couple of the guys went to another show and saw him play and was like, oh, this guy's really good kind of thing. Yeah. And, so, Dustin is like very open to, adapting and evolving and realizing, they have sort of a kinship with music and stuff like that. And incorporating that into the thing instead of him just being like, no, I am writing all the songs. Like,
dictator, Dustin Payseur,
He's real down to earth though. The first video I saw of him, I think, was giving a tour of his like apartment in New York where he wrote a lot of his stuff. This was many years ago. And he just seems like a regular down to earth dude. He doesn't have any vibes about someone that would be kind of like
I mean, he's the
dictatorish or whatever.
Yeah, he's the front man of this successful band.
Yeah.
In everything I've read and watched, there's no like big ego or anything like that. He's chill, like you said, down to earth, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just repeating what you said because I can't say it better. But it's great.
That was a snort laugh.
We'll edit it out. Yeah. We don't need that. Yeah. But like I said, good segue into Somersault.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite album by them. That's how I discovered this band. And I went kind of from Somersault on backwards through their catalog and discovered some good stuff going that way too. But this is what turned me on to this band, Somersault. And that came out in 2017. And like you said, this was more of a band collaboration than ever before, if any at all.
Yeah.
This was like the first time where they were kind of a group, like, oh, we've been touring together.
Yeah.
We helped kind of maybe had some ideas with these other songs on the last album. But this one was kind of head on, and they didn't plan it like this is going to be a band album. It just they kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
As far as my understanding goes.
Yeah.
But it was quite collaborative. Through, I guess there's 5 members in the group at this point. I'm pretty sure it's 5. But yeah, Somersault. It's more sunshiny. It's a little more poppy.
Yeah.
It's brighter. It's blissful.
Yeah.
Just aesthetic wise, but the texture's good. They use stuff like strings and piano.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps the whole thing expand.
And flute as well.
Yeah, I think there's flute on the track we played at the very beginning of the show.
Yeah, we started out the show with Saint Ivy.
From Somersault.
Yeah.
And so that had and I remember him saying he'd want to put flute in something, but he didn't know how for the longest time. So,
yeah, it was interesting about it. They said they invited this guy to the studio and he was like there for less than an hour, and they were just like, go crazy, do whatever you want to do on whatever track kind of thing. And this guy did that. And then after he left, they kind of cut up the takes and performances, kind of like samples, and then placed them in different songs and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Flute's a cool aesthetic to kind of bounce off of in your mix.
Yeah. Well, I think also for like this album, they said they were listening to a lot of like references that I wouldn't expect them to be listening to, but they referenced DJ Shadow.
Yeah, he pops in unexpectedly.
Wu Tang Clan.
Okay.
Isaac Hayes.
So, okay, hip hop.
Yeah. And Korn. He said still Korn.
And then Korn, though, right in there, of course.
And he said it wasn't really like they were listening to full albums. They were listening to sort of individual tracks and sharing tracks with each other.
Right.
For like ideas. David Axelrod is another guy. He's actually like, we should do a show on him. He passed away a few years ago, but he did back in the 60s all of these like he was like a producer and an arranger, but his aesthetic was very like funk kind of jazz stuff, and actually like DJ Shadow used to sample a lot of his stuff, and other people have as well, kind of thing. That guy's really good.
I've never heard the name. I'll have to check it out. That's cool.
Yeah. And so, they were like, and also like for Saint Ivy, they were saying when they recorded that track, I think Dustin was on the drums and he was just like playing something. And they were specifically trying to mic the drums to get a DJ Shadow / Wu Tang Clan vibe.
Nice.
And the beat is like a direct inspiration from a Wu Tang Clan track.
Cool.
And they were just like really focusing on that. There's actually a video on Vice Music or something about that song, and they play them back to back. And they play it so back to back where it's like the same tempo. So they switch from the Wu Tang Clan track to the Beach Fossils track, and you can hear it.
They nailed it?
They nailed it, yeah.
Nice.
It's crazy. But,
that's cool. I mean, I brought this band to the table. I never thought there would have been a DJ Shadow reference here.
Neither did I. I was surprised by their influences. And you can hear it, I think, throughout this album. There's definitely that funky soul, jazzy influence in there with the strings and the flutes. And
so they totally expanded on what they were doing before while still kind of having that same heart of Beach Fossils. But this does go a little even psychedelic It's a little this album Somersault I'm talking about. There's a little bit of psych pop influence in there. It feels more mature. Really good flow all the way through, and some of it reminds me of an album like Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah, definitely like the end of St. Ivy with the strings and all that.
Right.
It reminded me directly of like a Beatles track or something like that.
Yeah. That kind of totally. I was trying to think of the Beatles. Not
one particular song.
I can't think of what I was going to say. Was Phil Spector the producer for Sgt. Pepper's?
I don't know if he ever did anything with the Beatles. He did stuff with John Lennon, but
okay, yeah. I don't know who I'm thinking of. Not George Martin, but I thought there was another guy who would. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Some of the changes throughout the song, and it's really cool. Kind of switches it up. And they just kind of expand on their songwriting and aesthetic throughout the whole thing. The album cover is it's white. It's like a really, really minimalist thing, and then it looks like it's as if somebody stamped it red, just like their logo, Beach Fossils.
It does look like a logo for like a surfboarding brand or something.
That it does look kind of skate for sure.
Skate,
and I think these guys were into skating, and I think we didn't really mention that earlier, but I think they were into skating and how well they were recognized how well music goes with the skate world, and how a lot of skate people making skate videos and stuff are always looking for cool music to put over their video. And those skaters find a lot of cool, their friends and stuff, people that they know in the community find really cool, a lot of times undiscovered music to use, and that helps the band blow up and helps the skaters blow up, and everyone's winning in this kind of community. So that's a cool connection. 2017 Somersault. Should we play another ditty off of this?
Definitely.
Let's jam it up.
I haven't really dived into this album so much, so I really want to. But
this one's good, man. This one's good.
Down the Line. Or do you want to play another one?
There was Down the Line's like probably, I think it's literally their most popular song.
Okay.
But let's switch it up, a little bit of a deeper cut, but a hot track, Tangerine.
All right.
Second track off of the album.
we had a comment from one of our TikTok viewers that said, "Stay positive."
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
We are live on TikTok right now.
Yeah. So if you want to ever catch like a sneak peek of episodes, Roots to Grooves episodes before they come out on podcast platforms and YouTube, follow Signl Radio on TikTok and also see clips and behind the scenes shenanigans.
A lot of fun stuff on our TikTok.
Yeah.
We're just getting started too.
Exactly. Little plug there or something. Little interlude.
Jay, I got a little fun fact.
Okay.
So we talked about Glass Animals
Yes.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
A month ago, I don't know.
Yeah.
But their latest album, Dreamland, has a song on it. The second song is called Tangerine.
There you go.
The song we just played was off Beach Fossil's latest record, Somersault, second track, Tangerine.
It's a popular song title, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been a few tangerines.
It's hot right now
Yeah.
in the last few years. 2017, Somersault came out. So it was a couple of years ago. They were ahead of the game.
I like tangerines. I like the scent of tangerine as well. It's really
The
good.
whole aesthetic, the bright
The whole thing.
color,
Yeah.
the citrus aroma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting
Good.
hungry.
That's a vibe right there.
Citrus. It is. Somersault is a vibe.
Yeah.
More strings making it really epic. Those smooth, clean vocals.
I think they were kind of surprised, is what Dustin said when he went into the recording session when they had the string players in there, kind of thing, and they were doing their thing.
Okay.
And he was like blown away. He was like, "Whoa! It's like this is just like another level kind of thing." Like,
I mean, it really is beautiful. That's awesome, and that's awesome that they used real strings, real instruments,
yeah,
not some VST
yeah.
Logic bull. But cool, and all the songs are super good like that.
Yeah.
I think this is their best work. Somersault.
Yeah. It's also their first album on Dustin's own record label, Bayonet.
Okay, yeah. So we didn't really talk about that, but
Yeah.
So we kind of mentioned his girlfriend,
Yeah.
who he did end up marrying.
Yeah.
And they met at a record store where she was interning,
I think she was interning at his previous record label.
or his label, I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he was going up to pick up his first 7-inch vinyl,
Yeah.
and she was interning there. And that's how they met.
Yeah.
I guess they went on a date.
Went on a date a couple of days later, I think. After
Yeah.
And then the rest is history.
There it is.
And it's interesting. So she,
And then to say they ended up starting a label together called Bayonet.
and her name's Kate Garcia. So she worked as
Wait, she didn't take the name Payseur?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's
It wasn't
a credit thing, or we don't know about the personal life. We're not trying to get into it too much. But
Maybe it's pronounced more weirdly than we're saying. She's like, nah.
it's it looks like Garcia, but it's pronounced Payseur.
yeah.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's cool. But so she I think was intern at this record label, and she does A&R for some other thing. So she's kind of been getting into the music industry in that way on the sort of record label side. And then Dustin was saying that he didn't really know about how the music industry worked until he got signed to the first label, Captured Tracks.
Right.
And when he was signed to them, he said he used to spend a lot of time in their offices and with the main guy that ran the label, kind of just learning everything he could about that side of things. And he said one of his inspirations for starting his own label, Bayonet Records, was actually Stone Throw Records. He mentioned.
Okay.
It's an inspiration, basically, for the sentiment being that it's more like a collective of people that are into the same things and supporting each other versus strictly a business endeavor sort of thing.
Yeah, I think he was kind of turned off by that, the industry, professionals or the music business.
Yeah.
Or the things that, it's just a business and people are doing things to make money.
Yeah.
And that kind of turns him off. But he was super into the fact that, that record label that you said, what were they called?
His first Captured Tracks was the first
Right.
label. Yeah.
Or what was the one that he was referencing? Who he enjoyed?
Stone's Throw.
Right.
Yeah.
And he liked how they were kind of it just felt like people putting things together because they thought you should do a tour with these guys. You should make an album with this guy.
Yeah.
Putting people together for the greater good of the whole ecosystem within that label. So awesome perspective. Again, like you said before, he's super chill and down to earth.
Yeah.
And he has his head in the right place, I think.
Yeah.
And he's making cool music and making cool things happen.
Yeah.
And
And it's an interesting move for a lot of these artists to start their own label. I know Polish Ambassador's doing it. Lamb, but Lamb are only really doing it for themselves, I think, at the moment, like to release their own stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know what's involved either.
No, I mean, Waves did Waves.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, a majority of the artists we've talked about on Rooster Groove so far have at some point started their own label.
Yeah,
is that fair to say?
Yeah, most of them.
At least half, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's just off the top of my head. Maybe I'm way wrong. Somebody correct me.
Half seems a little much. I think less than half, probably. But
at least a quarter. At least a quarter, I'll say. That's all I got on these guys, man.
Yeah.
That's up to date.
Yeah.
I don't think they've released anything else since that. And let me do a quick check.
By the way, you mentioned Glass Animals. I saw that they're coming to WAMU Theatre in March 2022.
Ooh.
They have it booked. WAMU, if anyone doesn't know, WAMU is right down the street here. It's in between this Signl studio and the other Signl studio. So
a walk down the block.
Yeah. We saw, that was the last live show we ever saw pre-COVID, was at WAMU.
The Strokes. That was the last concert.
That's the last live show I've ever seen.
Yeah. And for the Strokes, that was their last show before everything got canceled.
Yeah.
I think
canceled the rest of their tour and shit.
Yeah. So
yeah. But
very fun, very cool. Pretty cool venue. They got a lot of cool spots. It's just it's a good venue for anybody.
So I guess the only other thing to say is these guys appeared on a show called Vinyl. It was on HBO. It was like
I did not know this.
I didn't know about it. It said it didn't last very long, but it was about early 1970s.
Oh no, I did know that. You're right.
Yeah, like music industry in New York sort of thing. And they play. I think they even had speaking parts in there. Like they were in there for a few episodes or something, playing. They played a 1970s punk band called the Nasty Bits.
Nice.
So that was.
I didn't realize they had speaking parts.
Yeah, they did like proper acting, I think.
So these guys are actors and musicians then.
So
that's pretty cool.
I'm gonna check out that show just for. It seems interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Vinyl. But yeah, and I guess also like they did take a break at a certain point as something to say as well. I think before Somersault.
It was
and Clash
4 years from Clash to Somersault. So
yeah, they took some time out to chill and not tour and not record or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect time to do it because they made a good headway with their project.
Yeah.
Like really made a splash in the industry.
Yeah.
At least for their particular style niche.
Yeah.
And they'd been like Dustin said, sacrificed themselves, compromising themselves and their lives in order to make these things happen.
Yeah.
And it shows how much they care and love what they're doing.
Yeah.
I hope they do more stuff because what I see is this band is on an awesome trajectory of getting better, and that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited that they're. I can't really pigeonhole them right now because I think their first couple of albums are. There's one thread through all of them, I think, which is like the vocals and the guitar work, the songwriting.
Yeah, the chillability.
Yeah, and I guess one thing I did want to say as well about their songwriting is that Dustin said that when he writes a song, he has to do it all in one sitting, like a complete song. And he also said the recording and the writing is one and the same for him, kind of thing. So he'll fuse those two together, but they will, after he's made a track at home or whatever, they will oftentimes go and re-record it in a better studio, kind of thing. But yeah, he said basically that he has to do it in one session because if he walks away from it, then he can't really get back into it. Like he feels like the song's lost legs or something like that, and so he really has to like do it all in one sitting, which I think is an inspirational thing. I'm taking that as another of all of the artists we've talked about. That I'm plucking that as another
that little tidbit,
another ingredient to like. Yeah, okay. Next time I sit down, I'm gonna just force myself to just finish a track instead of just coming up with a 4-bar loop and walking away and then
like you have an awesome sounding 4-bar loop and it's all polished and sounds cool, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and then I can't get back into it again. So like, and I think I've only been able to do like once or twice in my life, like actually complete like a track, like in one go kind of thing. And it was a lot of work and concentration and focus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But once you get into that certain flow, I think you got to keep doing it and not
ride that momentum and keep going.
And that could push you. I think that can give you confidence as well, because then if you're like, oh yeah, I finished something.
Yeah.
Then when you go to do it again, it's like it just gives you a little more.
Like I already did it before, I could do it again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's great. I mean, I love that. Yeah, that's great. Tidbit of information to take for all the producers out there listening.
Yeah.
That's what this guy's doing, and not to say that's the only way.
No, there's many ways, but yeah.
Because and like Dustin said, Dustin Payseur at some point, like he likes to go and do the whole track while he's doing it in one sitting, like you just said. Because if he doesn't, you can kind of go away from it, and then he said he'll come back and it feels like he didn't even write it.
Yeah.
And one of his favorite things is like when it feels like you're not even the one writing the music.
Yeah.
It's just kind of coming out.
Yeah, he said he's like listened to songs and he's like, did I do that?
Yeah. which is a weird, I think a lot of musicians have been in that position. Like, I made that. Like,
I think it's good. Like don't spend too much time or something. Like I know, like I don't know if we mentioned this on the episode about Lamb, but apparently Lou Rhodes, I think is her name.
I think that's right. I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she is like, she can't do more than 3 takes.
Oh yeah, she liked to keep it real tight, real quick.
Yeah, because she's like, you don't want to like just keep laboring over something, because then you just start changing too much, or you get sick of it, and it's like you could just destroy the original idea that was actually good, and then just turn it into trash or something like that. And I mean, each to their own. But I do have attention problems with, well, not attention problems, but like. Yeah, I feel like the more you labor over anything, doesn't matter what it is, like you can overwork something or just suck out the passion from it or the interestingness for yourself.
Whatever you were excited about in that moment.
Yeah.
Try to, just kind of go with that and try to max that out.
Yeah.
Is what these people are saying.
Yeah.
The beauty is that you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to do, make a 4-bar loop that sounds cool that you're excited about, and then put it away for 6 months. Yeah. Come back to it and
that's the only other way I think of doing that, is to just put it in the drawer and forget about it.
Yeah.
And then come back to it a way later point
with completely new energy. What can I give to this track?
Yeah.
That's
and then you'll be like,
kind of cool.
Oh, I can finish this now. I know I know what to do. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like you said, to each their own.
Yeah.
Let bygones be bygones, and let's just all make some beautiful music.
I love it.
That's all I got on these guys, though. Beach fossils.
Yeah.
Indie, rock, pop, chill.
Yeah.
Beachy.
Yeah.
Fun. They're progressing. They're getting better. I'm excited for them.
Yeah. See where they go next.
Yeah. Super happy to talk about them this week.
It's been a few years.
Yes.
So 2017 was when Somersault came out. So hopefully in quarantine they're writing and recording new material.
They have no excuse. What else are they doing? Come on.
Or they just discovered that they don't want to do music anymore. It's like, oh,
they quit.
Reevaluate our lives and retrain. And no, I hope not. But yeah,
hopefully, for me personally, I want them to come out with another album.
Yeah,
hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah,
it feels like it's about time. Maybe we're gonna hear something very soon. Should we play out on a track?
Yeah. Do you want to play May first?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's also from Somersault.
Yeah.
That's my favorite album. If anybody's listening, if anybody cares, I always say where I would start listening to this new artist, if they're new to you, I would start with Somersault 100%.
Yeah.
And then I would go to, if you like that, I would go to album number 1 and work your way back up. But yeah, Somersault's where it's at.
And Clash of the Truth. But these albums are very different in a way.
That's the only thing.
It's funny.
Yeah. Clash of the Truth is just, Clash of Truth is just... Sorry, Clash
the
Truth. Yeah,
it's a tongue twister.
Yeah, sorry.
Because as soon as you see Clash, you think and it has a T in it.
Yeah, it's like Clash of the Titans.
Exactly.
Clash of the Titans. But you know what we're talking about. But that one is a little bit darker.
Yeah,
it's a little more punky.
Yeah,
and so it just depends on your energy. I'm happy that they made both albums, and I'm happy that they're willing to go to different, extents of their what they love. What they want to try and stuff. So it's just a good sign for a musician if they're willing to try stuff, and they're able to do different things in awesome ways. It's a sign of good musicianship and a sign of, having a good head on your shoulders. So Dustin Payseur, he's killing it. I think he has more to kill, and I'm excited to see where these guys go. Let's play out on May 1st.
All right.
The song May 1st.
Also, roots to grooves at signalradio.com, right?
Yes.
If you have anything to say.
You got a cool story about beach fossils?
We still have yet to receive our first email from a listener or viewer. So that person gets a bag of cash, by the way. So
Jay, founder of Signl, is providing
a bag of cash.
You heard it here first, folks. He said it before on another episode, and he's saying here again, a bag of cash.
I mean, it might be Venmo because I hear you're not supposed to send cash in postal mail, but because there's, someone might steal it along the way. Yeah. But anyway, bag of cash.
Bag of cash.
The amount.
You can say anything you want.
You will only find out if you email us.
You can say anything you want.
You can say anything you want. Yeah.
I'm looking at you, YouTube.
Yeah.
All right.
Beach
fossils, roots to grooves out. I'm Jay.
I'm just...
No, I got you again.
You did this again.
I know.
Do you do this on purpose?
That time I did it on purpose because I did it on accident the other time.
Yeah, you definitely tripped me up. I was going to say Jesse. I was like, wait a minute. I'm not Jesse. Yeah.
Am I?
We
both got J's in our name, and I love that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was looking for.
Hey, Roots to Grooves out May 1st by Beach Fossils. Peace out.
Roots to Grooves is a production of Signl Radio. For more music and independent culture, visit signalradio.com. That's signl radio.com.